Hello everyone, I cordially welcome you all to the React tutorial series using TypeScript, and in the first video of this series we are going to discuss on the basics of JavaScript, the growth of JavaScript, how TypeScript came into picture and the benefits of using React. So without any delay, let's get started. First of all, the World Wide Web was born in 1989. So the Web 1.0 or the first version of the World Wide Web consisted of a handful of people who mostly created web pages for the common people to facilitate sharing of news, facts and information. So when the World Wide Web was born, in the early part of its existence, it was only used to share information, static contents over the internet. So due to that, what happened is basically the information became accessible to all via internet. Okay, due to this reason only the web 1.0 or the first version of the World Wide Web was majorly known as the read-only web, which consisted of just forms, visuals and resources stored in the server's file system. But in course of time, with the rising popularity of the World Wide Web, the world the World Wide Web 1.0 ended and we found a new generation of the World Wide Web, which we term as the Web 2.0. So unlike the first version of the World Wide Web, the second version of the World Wide Web or the Web 2.0 focused on active participation of the users. Okay, so what does that mean? So like the first World Wide Web, it was not focused to only sharing of static resources over the internet. The Web 2.0 actually facilitated active participation of the users on the internet. Okay, due to this, what happened is basically the internet grew as the Web 2.0 majorly emphasized on better interactivity, improved compatibility and good UX. Okay, so how JavaScript became so popular? So with the growth of Web 2.0, JavaScript became popular as well. So if you are not familiar what is JavaScript, so JavaScript is a dynamically typed scripting language that allows the developer to implement complex features on the web, which includes the implementation of dynamic business logic, updating the user interface or UI as you say, based on user interactions and rendering dynamic data or 2D 3D graphics on the web page. So if this sounds a bit tough for you, as of now you can understand JavaScript is the language of the web. So it is one of the three fundamentals which you should definitely know to get started with web development. One among them is HTML, the other one is CSS and the last one of the three fundamentals is JavaScript. Okay. So soon with the growth of Web 2.0, JavaScript also entered into backend development, meaning JavaScript could handle the server-side logic, sending and receiving data and storing stationary data on the database. So one of the greatest benefits which JavaScript provided was its compatibility. So initially JavaScript was not into the domain of backend development, as you know, because we say JavaScript was the language of the web. So outside the web at that point of time there was no scope to run JavaScript. So due to that, it could have been a problem, but due to the increasing compatibility of JavaScript, the servers running on PHP, Java, .NET, Ruby generated HTML web pages dynamically, and due to JavaScript's nature only, it provided the same rich user experience. Okay, so as of today, we cannot think of any web application without JavaScript. Almost 99.99% of the applications which you see are made using JavaScript in some form or the other. You might argue that we don't use directly JavaScript now, but indirectly we use JavaScript in the form of libraries and frameworks. Okay. Due to this only, there was a growth of concept which was known as single page application. So single page application, as of now, in short I can say, it is an application which uses one parent HTML file, and depending on the routes or the user activity or the server sent events, the content of that file changes dynamically, leaving us with a view that the web page is loading, but the page actually doesn't load all the time, just the content of it changes. The base file, that is the index.html, remains the same. But in the later part of Web 2.0, JavaScript also entered into the arena of backend development. So how did that become possible? That became possible with the arrival of Node.js. So with only knowledge of JavaScript, one can now create a feature-rich UI and can also create a stable, highly scalable and secure server to communicate with the database. Okay. So now you can understand why JavaScript becomes so much popular. One of the interesting and one of the most important reason is now developers could code on JavaScript not only in the front end but also in the back end using Node.js. So what happened? The front end frameworks like React, Angular or Vue helped the JavaScript developers to code the front end of the application, and a JavaScript runtime instance Node.js help the developers to code the backend of the application. Okay, so that's a short introduction to JavaScript. Let's go to the next slide. So now what is TypeScript? So many of you might not have heard about TypeScript. So in short, before we go into the definition, just remember one thing. TypeScript is basically a superset of JavaScript. Okay, it helps us to write better JavaScript. So let's see the definition. So TypeScript is a strongly typed object-oriented compiled language which was developed by Microsoft. TypeScript is not only a programming language but also a set of tools which are supposed to ease the process of development of a web application. TypeScript includes strong type checking, compile time error checks and the TypeScript language services which made it very popular, fault tolerant and highly adaptable in any enterprise level application. Okay, why learn TypeScript? So due to the given advantages of TypeScript, that is strict type checking, fault tolerance and high adaptability, TypeScript helped us to write better JavaScript. So to all the JavaScript developers, TypeScript became a blessing in disguise. It helped us to write bug-free TypeScript on the go, and thus we could develop better applications in very short period of time. So in which of the fields TypeScript is used? TypeScript is used in multiple fields. So I have just listed 5 among them. So TypeScript is used in web development, mobile app development, desktop app development, game development and IoT application development. In short, you can say wherever we can use JavaScript, we can still use TypeScript. As I said, TypeScript is a superset of JavaScript. It is basically not just a programming language but also acts as a tool to write better JavaScript. Okay, now let's deep dive into what is React. So let's come to the topic. What is React? So React is an open source, declarative, efficient and flexible JavaScript library created by Meta's Jordan Walker. It was created for building user interfaces based on UI components. Okay, so React is basically an open source library, a JavaScript library better to say, which helps the developers to develop front end of an application. So if you are familiar with the model view controller architecture, remember React helps the developers to code the view part of the application. React is solely responsible to handle the view layer of the application. That is one of the things which you must remember. So why should we use React? So React is just a library and the learning curve is pretty smooth even for a fresher who have just started into the world of software development. So unlike many other frameworks which are available in the market, React is very easy to learn even for a beginner. The reason is if your core JavaScript concept is clear, React will be a cakewalk, at least the initials. Then once you start learning, you will find a lot of similarity and you will grow as per the syllabus proceeds. So due to the benefits of React and the ease of learning, React has become very popular in short span of time. Even any size of business which has something to do with software development are heavily inclined towards using React. So with this we can come into conclusion that React is very popular no matter what size of the business is, whether it is a startup or a mid-sized organization or a completely huge MNC. React is very popular in many folds of the types of companies. This is not only the only reason why React is so popular just for the ease of learning, but React also far better benefits which we are going to discuss in the upcoming videos, and then you can actually have a clear idea why React become increasingly popular. Okay, so that's it for now. I hope you like the content. So if you think our content is informative, please feel free to hit the like button and subscribe our channel so that we can get motivated and we can bring up far better videos in the upcoming weeks. So if you have any queries, doubts or feedbacks, you can post it in the comment section. We are there, we read it and we do reply. So thank you for now. See you in the next video. Bye.